Which situation will always create high sexual tension? Accidental touching but neither of you move, like when you're in the back seat of a car and your thighs touch. Or your legs touch under a table. You're so preoccupied knowing it's happening you aren't stopping to think that she knows it's happening too. Alternatively, you're fully aware that she does also know it's happening and she's not moving away, and you commit to not blink first. Simon Tad is where it's at, am I right? Which situation will always create high sexual tension? Young, my parents are gone for the weekend. Middle-aged, the kids are gone for the weekend. Old, our new bed just got professionally installed. I would like to add young adult, my roommate is gone for the weekend. One roommate? Someone was doing pretty well for themselves. Edit. Thank you so much for the award, kind stranger. Having two roommates in the Air Force was awesome when I was younger. They would both leave for like a month at a time, then come home for a couple weeks and be gone for another month. The other roommate spent all his time at work in the tattoo shop or back home with his family. It was rare to have everyone in the house at once. As an introvert, I loved it. When my BF, before we started dating, noticed I had freckles on my face and asked if he could pull off my glasses to see them better. He did it so gently and I didn't know what to do with myself. Was it because you were suddenly blind? You're all I can see. No, really. You're all I can see. Give them back. My glasses. I can't see without my glasses. When I was in college, a group of friends and I were walking around campus. Some of us were on skateboards. I tried to impress one of the girls and ate shit riding down this steep short hill. Scraped my arm pretty bad. Said girl took me to her dorm where she had a first aid kit. She sanitized, washed, Neosporin and bandaged me up. God damn, the tension was strong. So how many years you two have been together now? They didn't realize it was a sexual tension moment till yesterday. She might be Canadian. Being in a small, dark enclosed space with someone else hide and seek as a tween was an informative experience for me, even though nothing actually happened. Back in middle school, I was in a photography class. This girl I liked was getting set up and was a beginner, so I had to help her do her first pictures in the dark room. I was like, this is my chance. Nothing happened, but it was a very tense situation for a 14-year-old. 14-year-olds think they have a chance in any situation. Most of us with vivid imagination still envision these situations long after age 14. I have a chance. Faps to the memory of the possibility. Help me pick out a swimsuit. Immediately thought of the new guy. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Being around the same age as someone on an airplane. I sat next to this Welsh girl on a transatlantic flight once. I was 18, she was probably 2,223. I actually noticed her prior to boarding the flight and thought she was cute. I had to hide a smile when she came to sit down next to me in a two-seat row. I had never heard a Welsh accent before, so when she smiled and said hi, I melted in my seat and was pretty much in love. Turns out we had quite a bit in common and we talked and laughed together for the majority of the flight. When we got off the plane, she was like, all right, shall we head towards baggage claim? I told her I had to wait for my parents, who were sitting in a different row. She said, oh okay, bye. Hope you enjoy your trip or something to that effect, and walked off. No phone number, no social media, not even a last name. Granted, I was probably too young for her anyway. Matilda, if you're out there, just know that I still occasionally think of you 9 years later. The South Welsh accent is absolutely spellbinding. Sigh. Sarah with the red hair from uni. Night swimming. If you ever get invited night swimming, you're in for a hell of a time. Reminds me of my junior year summer fling. I had been crushing hard on this guy since 6th grade. We had been friends for years. He invited me over to watch The Hobbit, and we ended up going swimming. After some fake wrestling in the pool, we ended up making out. Literally the most magical moment of my teenage life. Ah, to be young again. Mudducker, I'm in my 40s and that shit is still magical. You grab those moments and you treasure them. They are wonderful no matter what age you are when you experience them. Those memories are the ones that flash in your mind when it matters. That's the truth. My wife and I got to have one of those experiences a couple of years ago. We made a random stop on our way home from a vacation at this random secluded beach. We sat on the sand together and talked for a while, went out into the water and had a swim. Only, after 20 minutes or so we realized the water had gotten dark and our feet kept getting bumped into. A massive migration of stingrays came through, and we were ducking surrounded. I didn't really feel scared, because we were in waist-high water off the Gulf of Mexico, but she was terrified. I carried her back to the shore as the rays just went around my feet and on with their evening. Great memory. Had sex too. That was cool. When you hang out in a group get-together all day and everything dies down until it's just the two of you talking in the middle of the night. This happened with a girl I'm really not into and I was pretty drunk. Eventually she just straight up asks, "Why aren't we having sex right now?" Awkward as hell. Sobered me right up. The fact that you felt pretty drunk but could still snap back into full consciousness means you drank exactly the right amount. In college I got a pretty May haircut and was lamenting about it to a group of friends. One girl chimed in that she could fix it for me and she had all the tools in her room to do it. We went back to her dorm room, and she slowly spent a lot of time snipping little bits of my hair, moving around me, and we made a ton of eye contact while she checked it from every angle. She'd get in close to check things, and I could feel her breath on my neck, or she'd run her fingers through my hair and across my scalp to pull some up to be trimmed. The tension was so thick I could barely breathe and she did a great job on my hair. I hooked up with a hairdresser friend of mine who used to cut my hair. She started cutting my hair naked. Couldn't move though or she'd mess up. I had an idea for a topless hair salon called A Little Off the Top. I can't cut hair and I'm a guy so it never happened. Oh crap, I set up a computer for my mother-in-law and come back to all this? Sheesh. I know of a topless barber, it's owned by this guy Harry. It's called Harry Snips. Looking someone dead in the eye and saying "make me." In case anyone's wondering, don't worry, "I will" is the preferred response to this, at least for me. Instant butterflies. Level 1, getting caught out and totally rain-soaked together. Level 2, having to go dry off and warm up after. This leads to marriage. Lamau dangerous. Twister. Lamau. I remember I was the adult in the house when my cousin was hanging out with a few of her cousins and school friends. All like 13 to 14 at the time, and they were begging me to play Twister with them. I ended up convincing them to settle for having me just spin the arrow. My 20-something self was not in any way about to play Twister with a bunch of teen girls, thanks. Wise decision. In my head I was like, yeah, and if I play then inevitably everybody will come back at just the wrong moment. In a better world I wouldn't hesitate because they're kids, but, yeah, that's terrible optics, ha. I attended a painting party at a girl's house one summer that turned into a paint fight. That was a pretty sexy time. I have seen this porno. When you're sitting in the passenger seat of their car and they put their hand behind your seat to look behind them as they back out. Being the only one with a car in college, I was always the driver. This guy Matt always rode in the back passenger side, slouched with his knees up against the front seat. Every single time I backed up, I would turn my body, put my hand right on the thigh of his leg and make eye contact with him instead of straight behind me. How long have you two been happily married? Matt never picked up on the cues. Multiple instances of accidental eye contact. This can sometimes build sexual tension. It can also cause people to wonder, why is this person looking at me so much, and the deciding factor is usually how attractive they find you. This just made me laugh, because it reminded me of this instance where I pointed out to my friend that someone is staring our way and she replied, "Maybe they think you are staring and so they're staring back wondering why you're staring at them." Ha ha.